name is Sharon Wilder, and I am the Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer at Montgomery College. Today, we are honoring our Student Excellence and Equity Awards. And I also want to thank the Excellence and Equity Awards Committee, chaired by our last year's Employee Excellence Award winner, Dr. Lucy Grinnell. Thank you very much. Lucy currently serves as the director of the Writing, Reading, and Language Center, adjunct faculty in the Women and Gender Studies program, a member of the President's Advisory Committee on Equity and Inclusion, and the advisor for the Pride Plus Student Club. She's worked at Montgomery College since 2003. Lucy has a PhD in Latin American history, a master's in Latin American studies, a graduate certificate in women's studies from the University of New Mexico. Lucy has been published widely on LGBTQ+ and women's history in Mexico. She is passionate about increasing student success and expanding social justice at Montgomery College. She's committed to the college's anti-racist journey and has spearheaded programming to support minoritized and underrepresented students, such as the WRLC's affinity-focused writing groups for students of color and for LGBTQ+ students. And throughout her time at MC, Lucy has organized numerous campus events on intersectional LGBTQ+ and gender themes, and trained staff and faculty on pronoun usage and gender inclusivity. So Lucy, thank you so much for your leadership. So we are also indeed celebrating an amazing philanthropic gift we have received to provide our students with both cash awards and a medallion created by our very own trustee, Dr. Kenneth Hoffman. So let me share with you a little bit about the purpose of the Excellence in Equity Award. It's to recognize and celebrate students, faculty, and staff who have demonstrated exemplary accomplishments in advancing equity, inclusion, and diversity. Montgomery College is indeed fortunate to have a wealth of dedicated and extraordinary employees and students deserving of this recognition. These individuals serve as leaders through their contributions in making Montgomery College and/or our local community more inclusive by creating an environment where all individuals are valued and respected. This prestigious inaugural award is given annually to students and employees who embody the characteristics of equity and inclusion in the performance and service, and who is well-deserving of this special recognition. And let me quote Mr. Ramon de la Cruz. He was the inaugural awards committee chair in 2019, and he said, the equity and excellence pass the baton symbolizes that equity and inclusion is a long game. It requires multi-generational action. And this symbolizes that the work is never done and the race is always being run, and that we are all connected to the work of those before us. So when you receive your baton tonight, please carry this baton through life with you as you continue to serve as an ambassador for equity and inclusion. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Craig Eozzo, who's the Acting Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations, Executive Director of the Montgomery College Foundation. Craig joined Montgomery College in 2020. I gotta tell a little bit about you. As Senior Campaign Director, and has been serving as the Acting Vice President of Development and Alumni Relations and Executive Director of the Montgomery College Foundation since earlier this year. And he manages fundraising activities in all aspects of the Montgomery College Foundation, as well as alumni relations. He leads the creation and implementation of fundraising strategies to sustain and increase philanthropy. And so with that, you can come to the podium. Thank you.
I do not do any of that alone, I assure you. I'm delighted to be here today to celebrate 3 of the 4 students, extraordinary students today, so congratulations. I want to share my thanks, Sharon, the college, for its commitment to equity and inclusion that we are celebrating this week. I really do feel like we share and celebrate all year. As a member of the LGBTQIA community, I am honored to be associated with an institution who aspires to make everyone feel welcome on our campuses. In my role as acting vice president for development and alumni relations for the college, I have the very good fortune to work with individuals who share an unwavering commitment to our mission and an ambition to make the world a better place. Dr. Kenneth Hoffman is one of those people. Dr. Hoffman began his service on the Board of Trustees in 2010. In this role, he continues to have an enormous impact on the college, our students, and our community. Dr. Hoffman endowed the Hoffman-Schallingser Excellence in Equity Awards to serve as a constant reminder of the importance of social justice, now and well into the future. For the very first time, today's recipients, all whom share Dr. Hoffman's commitment to equity and inclusion, will receive a monetary award and a medallion in recognition of their dedication to helping others. Applying the same dedication to detail that he does on all projects, Dr. Hoffman worked very closely with our designer, Donna DeCenzo. We all miss Donna Schenna too. But anyway, so thank you for all your work in designing the beautiful medallion. And it really is meticulous. The symbol depicts individuals connecting and joining hands with one another, representing inclusion and a shared common goal. The individuals are equal in size and shape, symbolizing equity, yet illustrated in different colors and tones to portray diversity. Together, the individuals enclose the inner circle, symbolic of a table in which all are welcome. The circle is continuous and without end, acknowledging the ongoing and ceaseless work towards achieving the shared common goal of equity and inclusion. So, thank you so much for endowing this wonderful gift for all of us to celebrate today. And I welcome Dr. Kenneth J. Hoffman to the podium.
I know I couldn't, oops, okay. I know I couldn't have written that about myself, so I'm glad you did. First, to welcome to the inaugural Hoffman-Schulsinger Excellence in Equity Awards. This award is to recognize student leaders who have demonstrated the inner spirit and motivation for reducing discrimination and prejudice in our community, inspiring each of us individually and collectively to be advocates for equity, inclusion, and anti-racism. The inspiration behind this medallion and award came from my parents. My mother, a Holocaust survivor who was able to emigrate to the United States, and my father, who supported her throughout their lives together. Both were active in the civil rights movement and strong advocates for social justice, equity, and inclusion. Once in the United States, my mother studied to receive her high school diploma and bachelor's degree and spent her career as an elementary school teacher in Newark, New Jersey. My father and his father ran a small business in Newark where the only requirement for employment was the willingness to work. They would provide a living income and health benefits to all employees. My family would not have existed without the help of others, including him. So prior to the creation of the Hoffman-Schulsinger Excellence Award, this award had no monetary component and no medallion. So by creating the endowment, the four recipients tonight will be presented with a monetary gift as well as a medallion that was specifically created for this event. I was equally pleased to participate in the designing of the medallion, as you'll be receiving this evening, and recognize one of our own, Donna DeCenzo, who worked closely with me, and I could never have done the design, but back and forth, it's like, oh, this is really working out well. And so with hope, there's also humility and knowledge that we also need to be working together. The inspiration was to visually portray the college's equity and inclusion core value, which is in the Montgomery College mission statement, and the concept for each medallion. In the final design, you will see interlocking circles and other graphic elements that symbolize equity, inclusion, and connection. It is my hope that the medallion and awards recognize the initiatives and efforts of 4 students here today, as each serves as model for the community and the individuals who further the cause for universal equity, inclusion, and as anti-racists in our society. It will be through our student awardees that the prestige and permanency of this award may continue. I would now like to recognize our 4 students as I read each name, and know that each student has had a key and essential role in the college and furthers our commitment to inclusion and anti-racism. The first person, Mertinu Geleta, unfortunately had an emergency, can't be here, but I think I need to read why she was selected. Student leader, serving the student senate vice president, serving as the student senate vice president of the Germantown campus. She has been a strong advocate for peers and plans to continue to be an advocate and making a difference in the future for all that people that she meets and comes in contact. Our next awardee is Ariel Nochez. Is she? Oh, you want to? Ariel is a student leader, serving as senator at large and a member of the Montgomery County's Student Council and Early College Student Planning, Early College Planning, who is planning to become a community college professor and give back to the community. So that is, and informatics, we need some help in that too. So I think you can come up and should I? Okay, I'll read them all first. Okay. Then we have Karen Abby Oseguera, and Germantown campus student senator, an advocate for affordable education and access to support services needed by students of all backgrounds to achieve their educational goals. And she's been a strong advocate within the college, the Montgomery County Council, the Maryland State Senate, and the House of Delegates. You hit all the needed politicians here, so glad to everything you have, it's a future. Patrick Ibañez is a Rockville Student Center, active in key organizations within Montgomery College, advocating for social justice. And Patrick has created an advocacy project on helping students talk about their self-acceptance in reference to their sexuality through a confidential support program, as well as a capstone project that studies the relationship between economic development and inclusion in the LGBTQIA+ community. So with that, congratulations to the 4 student awardees this evening. And now's the time.
All right, and now we're going to have some remarks by Dr. Williams, and then we will ask Dr. Grinnell to come to the podium, because we're in a podium, and our students will come up, and then we'll do introductions at that time. So without further ado, Dr. Williams, the president of Montgomery College, and he is now in 6 weeks into his term as president, and I'll let you go.
Thank you. Thank you. How wonderful. I will be so very brief, and I'll just say a few words that I've literally just lost on my technology. But don't fret, I will prevail, and we will move forward together as a unit. So I am so very proud to be at this ceremony. As you probably know, and you just heard, now that I know you know, that I've been here for about 6 weeks. Right? One of the primary things that drew me to Montgomery College was the value that and I can say now, we place on both equity and inclusion. It is clear to me that these values are intrinsic to the institution. Inclusive excellence means that equity is not an afterthought. It is an essential ingredient in the original formula. Not only does it empower all students to change their lives, but it allows us all to be part of the community in which diversity is celebrated. We certainly are a richer and more agile community for that. Now, when I say community, many of us think of students, we think of faculty, we think of staff, and that's absolutely appropriate. I think we also need to recognize that that captures part of our community. When I interviewed for this role, I saw that the county council was championing equity and inclusion. I talked with several local nonprofit leaders who have led programs around inclusion for years before we started using the term inclusion. And I saw the commitment of the Board of Trustees, a powerful and unique commitment from the Board of Trustees. And I see that, and we all see that in our trustee who's here today, Dr. Kenneth J. Hoffman. He is one of those trustees, and I think we can see in his generous creation of the Hoffman Schulsinger Excellence in Equity Award, and for that we are extremely thankful, Dr. Hoffman. This award, as you've heard, and I'll share a little bit more, recognizes students with a, quote, an inner spirit and motivation to reduce discrimination and prejudice in our community. It is, in its inaugural year, each award goes to a student on one of our 3 campuses and one representing workforce development and continuing education. And you just heard a few words about our awesome students, and I will share in these awardees, who I've gotten to know some more than others, but I see a personal drive to enhance equity and build community, right? And enhance inclusion as well. So I will say I'm truly inspired by the leadership of these students and by you, Trustee Hoffman. You who saw the value of elevating their work for public recognition. Congratulations to the awardees. I know that you will bring your unique visions to your next venture. I definitely know that. And to you, Trustee Hoffman, thank you for being such a shining example of what we're here today to uplift. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to be here tonight to celebrate our awardees. So the first student is not able to be here with us tonight, but is on Zoom with us, and that student is Mertinu Geleta. Mertinu is a biology major and an early college student, and she serves as a senator at large and vice president for the Germantown Senate, as well as the chair of the Student Activities Board for the Germantown campus. As stated by one of her recommenders, Mertinu has shown how important diversity and inclusion is to her by helping plan many different Heritage Month events and making sure all student populations are represented in all events she has planned. During Advocacy Day, she was passionate about making sure Montgomery College stays affordable for the future generations. Outside of MC, Mertinu works as a creative director for a local company where she creates promotional materials and markets events for Generation Ratify, a club that works to advocate for the advancement of gender equality. She was also the secretary of Montgomery County for Change, a club that gets Montgomery County students involved in social change. Another recommender said of Mertinu served as Mertinu served as one of Montgomery College's Germantown campus student, as part of Montgomery College's Germantown campus student delegation. Mertinu met with over 10 elected officials and their staff to advocate for strong state support of the community college mission, which is affordable access to quality higher education, which benefits underrepresented populations. And she advocated for preparing the workforce for the careers that keep Maryland businesses, schools, emergency services, and infrastructure going. Mertinu discussed seamless transfer for all community college students. Mertinu is graduating this spring and plans to become a physician. So congratulations to Mertinu. The next student is Patrick Ibañez. Patrick, would you like to come up? Patrick is currently a business student at Montgomery College and an intern in the disaster recovery sector of Good 360. Patrick participates in the Southern Management Leadership Program, MC Scholars, and MC Leads, amongst many other activities on campus. He is a student senator at Rockville and a member of the Student Activities Board. While at MC, he has also participated in the Social Justice Inclusive Leadership Institute, ran out of the Office of Equity and Inclusion, as well as earned a Leadership Digital Badge and an Intercultural Digital Badge. As described by one of his recommenders, as an advocate for social justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion, Patrick's selfless service has been impeccable and without any need for validation or acknowledgement, shows that he deserves this recognition. Please accept this commendation as a testament of his hard work, huge heart, and work ethics. Patrick is graduating this spring and will be attending the University of Maryland College Park, where he will be majoring in business. The next student we'll be celebrating is Ariel Nochez. Ariel, would you like to come up? Ariel serves as a senator at large for the Student Senate at the Germantown campus, as well as on the Student Activities Board. As an early college student, he's also a Minority Scholars Program leader. As a senator, Ariel advocated outside the college for funding specifically centered on resources and programs, such as tuition waivers, the Workforce Readiness Grant, affordable tuition, funding for the Isaiah Leggett Building at the TPSS campus, and more issues, all focused on contributing to closing the achievement gap for underrepresented groups at Montgomery College. As stated by one of his recommenders, leaders do not always hold positions, and Ariel is a true leader in his own way. Ariel is an active member of the Student Activities Board planning events for MC's diverse student population, keeping equity and inclusion at the forefront when planning. And as you've already heard a little bit about, he is planning to someday become a community college professor focused on research on ethics and computer science. Congratulations. And last but not least, the last student that we will honor tonight is Abby Oseguera.
All right, Abby. Yeah.
Abby is an early college student and a biological sciences major. She is a student senator at large and a member of the Student Activities Board for the Germantown campus. According to one of her recommenders, Abby is passionate about advocacy work, ensuring services and facilities are equitable and inclusive for underrepresented populations in the college community. Abby's first year as a senator, as you heard a little bit about earlier, she advocated for affordable education with council member Nancy Navarro. And as the recommender says, I witnessed how impressed council member Navarro was with Abby's presentation. Another recommender said, not only does Abby try to make Montgomery College a more inclusive place through student events, she strives to make Montgomery College a better place for all students. And I think I'm missing the last part. And Abby is planning on, and I apologize, Abby is planning on transferring soon, and we wish her all the best of luck, as well as all of the other wonderful and accomplished awardees. Congratulations.